Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to Tiny Glades. Now, eagle-eyed viewers of the channel will have noticed that I put up a video about this a few weeks ago. In my excitement to both cover this game and to kind of welcome myself back to the channel, I didn't read the email properly and was a month early on the embargo. So got rid of that video so that the developers could sort of get this sort of stuff out as they want to, which is their right, and they are perfectly welcome to do, and they were very kind in their emails to me. So I took the video down, I apologized profusely and said we'll come back and take a look at it when I'm allowed to, which is now, I think actually a day or so ago. But if you are watching this at time of release, this game comes out on Steam tomorrow, I believe, so you are going to be able to go and grab it yourselves. I really wanted to come back and have another look at it rather than just sort of re-uploading the video that I did previously, because one, I just wanted to kind of have a bit more time with it, have a real sort of good deep dive into it, and also I think maybe on that email, or maybe somebody else mentioned it to me, that they said you can right click on the stuff and then you get all of these like pulley arrows and what have you, and it really does open the thing up. It was already pretty great when you could sort of drop stuff in and drag and pull it around, but having this sort of level of precision means you can really start to build some really fantastic builds. So came in, had another play with it, and just really wanted to go a little bigger, a little grander than we did last time. I know it is called Tiny Glade, but this game is advertised as a castle doodler, which I absolutely adore, and I wanted to come in and sort of build a little bit of a castle. There's no sort of rhyme or reason to anything I'm doing here. I am genuinely doodling. I am just throwing stuff down where I think it looks cool, kind of leaving what I do. My playstyle with this was very much to not try and go back and reiterate. I just wanted to kind of see what came naturally from it. I realized that if you do a path over a cliff, you get steps there. But part of me wanted to do this as a time lapse so that I could get a bit more into a shorter amount of time for you folks. But also, as I was recording a time lapse, I kept thinking to myself, "Oh, I wish this wasn't a time lapse," because I genuinely squealed a few times during some of the things that that came up. And there's something so sort of organic about this and so natural, and I really feel like I'm discovering toys and tools as I'm playing. Like, look at those little steps down there. It's so amazing. I absolutely adore the fact that this game doesn't really have any kind of win condition other than being happy with the time you spent with it. A few people have said, "Oh, wouldn't this be amazing if it became an RTS or a city builder or whatever?" And honestly, I think what it's doing is perfect. I think just being able to make these little dioramas, being able to play with this stuff like Lego, is absolutely more than enough. I do hope that it makes developers of city builders, of those kind of games, to maybe take a look at this and think, turns out procedural generation of stuff is actually kind of incredible. And I would love to see that. I make no sort of hiding of the fact that I absolutely adore it when these games move off the grid, especially these medieval style ones. One of the big reasons I'm such a fan of Foundation and more recently Manor Lords is because they allow you, for the most part, to build off grid, and it just means you're able to make these really natural, organic structures, which is definitely more fitting of a medieval theme. But just in general, a lot of cities, very few cities in the world are built on a grid system. There are obviously famous examples of it, but for the most part, they're built with the lay of the land in mind, and just the sort of capricious nature of humans in mind as well. And I'm a huge fan of that sort of organic nature of structure. So that's why I absolutely adore Tiny Glade, and I recommend you all go and play it profusely. And if you are a fan of this, and again, if you're watching Geekism, I can't imagine you're not, you are going to be able to go and grab it on Steam tomorrow. This isn't a sponsored video. I'm just incredibly impressed with this as a product. Very much looking forward to seeing where it goes. If you'll notice, as I'm clicking through the buttons along the bottom, there are many different options that aren't currently available in this small demo. There are fence tools, there are different flower options, I think, and different doors and windows and what have you, and Yeah, I'm really impressed with how it came out. This building ends up looking a little bit like a wizard's tower, I suppose. It's got the sort of multiple faceted tower roofs there. But yeah, again, I wasn't really aiming to do anything here other than to have fun. And I played this game for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I think. And what you're seeing here is a sped up version, tying it down into about 7 or 8 minutes. So you can kind of see where we're going with it. But yeah, you'll just see that a lot of the time I'm just sort of sticking things on, very much of a Lego thing, and occasionally something pops up like those steps and I'm like, oh my goodness, look, step ladders. I even said to myself at the time, oh, these are my step ladders, because my real ladders left home when I was a little boy, which is a joke I say whenever I go and grab the step ladders at work and everyone groans at me. This game made me say it on my own in my office. But just having to have all these little spots that you can put out, I just absolutely had a blast with them. I was able to make this little balcony here, and for the most part the game lets you do what you're trying to do. Occasionally it plays up a little bit of a restriction. Here I'm trying to put a door in, it just wouldn't let me, and the balcony just had to be pulled down ever so slightly and then the door went on. But for the most part, like, anything I tried to do, the game let me do, and anything I thought would look cool, the game did it and it looked cool. So here, just some final touches, adding some windows. It ends up looking a little sort of higgledy-piggledy and garish, to be honest, with all the windows around the place, but I absolutely love it as this beautiful little sort of fantasy diorama. Again, just a couple more sort of towers here, filling in the space. I didn't use much of the ground raising tool last time, so here I made sure this whole thing sort of sat up on a little hill. And I just, oh my goodness, I could just place these pillars down, place these towers down all day long, and with a huge smile on my face. And I think what we end up with is absolutely beautiful. The only other real tool that we have in the game currently is there's a light. Oh my goodness, look at those steps coming down there. I forgot about those. It's so good. There's a little light system in place, so we're going to put some of those around. And there is a light that if it's on a wall, it's a wall light, and if you place it on the ground, it becomes one of these little lampposts, and you can sit and rotate them. And it absolutely beautiful both in the daytime and the nighttime once you get these lights in place. Again, there was no real rhyme or reason to where I place these down. I just, wherever I felt like they fit around the pathwork, in the walls where I felt they should go. And then here's a couple of glamour shots, as we always do with these time lapses. You can just take the place out and you'll see what it looks like at nighttime as well. What an absolutely beautiful little toy. I don't know whether I say game, because I feel like a game has some sort of competitive element to it. This is a toy, and it is a beautiful toy. You should all go and support this. Again, this is not a sponsored video. I just think that people who make this kind of art should have money thrown at them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.